For those of you who don't know, I basically had to take time off from uploading to survive the previous school year. In short, I was really happy to be working with a band again. It honestly feels like home. This year was also productive, and the coming year will be even more productive still. But this year was also... yeah. The good news is, it's summer, and I can start making content again. However, I do want to make a few changes to Cool Guy Johnson Hates. The live reaction approach that I used for each video, especially after episode 1, is very effective for expressing what I'm thinking or feeling in the moment as I listen to the music, which I think is important, and if I need to bring any further clarity to what I'm saying, I can just type it on the screen. Here's the thing though. It might not be the best way to bring my thoughts across with the utmost clarity, not to mention that it takes a certain amount of editing to make those videos look good. So I'm going to try two new things. Rather than a live reaction to the music, I'll do a post-listening analysis. I was thinking about doing something like this as a follow-up to my raw responses in the first place, but now I want to make it the main format. It'll definitely give a new perspective on the music. What one thinks of a song while they're listening to it is important, but so is taking time to digest those thoughts afterward, especially if there's context to consider, such as the style of the song, what the musician may have been inspired by, or some of our own biases. For example, my specialty is the various genres of electronic music, but if the song is rock or country, I might not be as well equipped. I also want a simpler rating system. I'll suggest one of three things. To buy it because I feel like the song truly has artistic merit and is worth spending money on, play it. If the song doesn't seem purchase worthy to me but has ideas that are worth considering, then feel free to check it out on websites such as YouTube or Spotify. Last and, funnily enough, least, skip it. What the musicians published is not worth your time, and how anyone considers the song worth purchasing is a mystery of modern science. If you disagree with what I have to say, I totally understand. That's fine. I've said it a few times this year, I'm not a thought policer. So long as you're not being a scumbag, you can leave your own comments, you can talk to your friends about it, or you can even make your own reaction video. It's up to you. One more thing, because some people have been asking about this, I don't actually hate any of the musicians that I look at in my videos. If you missed the introduction to this series, it's simply a tongue-in-cheek reference to how I listened to music when I was in college. For example, I was pleasantly surprised by Driver's License, and Moose T and Horse Me Disco, they're fantastic producers. The title is simply a gag, so don't take it literally. As It Was is a synth-pop track with vocals that are dreamy, although they are rather simple and vague. The overall production was a little bit rough around the edges. I'm assuming that was done on purpose for campy reasons to capture the 80s spirit. The overall mood was that of depression and bittersweetness. I'd go into more specifics, but you guys can figure them out when you listen to the song, which I don't recommend doing. The lyrics are plain, the backing track isn't that inspiring, and there isn't enough variety in tone or volume for the track to be engaging. If you want to listen to a pop song that imitates the 80s that badly, The Weeknd already covered that turf in Blinding Lights and did it better. Don't get me wrong, I can see how someone can enjoy this song. I've established before that music doesn't have to always be a cerebral experience to enjoy it. I mean, I can get lost in some Tchaikovsky. That includes both his most well-known works and things that only a dork like myself would listen to. Still, I don't listen to Tchaikovsky or even classical music on a daily basis. Back to my main point, even acknowledging that music doesn't have to be deep and intellectual to be enjoyed, why was this the top song? Did people really request the song that much on the radio? Was it really outpacing these other songs in sales? Did it really break the Spotify record for the most streams in 24 hours for a male artist? I don't get the hype, and I'm not sure I ever will. In case you haven't guessed by now, my verdict is to skip it. If you're honestly that curious, Top 4 Radio is obnoxious, so you'll probably wind up hearing that song by accident anyway. If you want to hear great examples of 80s style synthesizers, Japanese record label Wait For Me has a compilation called Back to Summer 3. I personally recommend the second track. If it's bittersweet you're looking for, listen to Picture of My Life by Jamiroquai. Compared to As It Was, it's not nearly as energetic, but that's not a bad thing. So this track by CID and Westend has a lot of old school house elements to it, and it has a very driving bass line. As is usual with electronic music, the vocals aren't really used for poetry purposes. It's used more like an instrument. So it's got a steady drum loop, a bass line, and some vocal samples, and that's pretty much it. The song doesn't go anywhere else in terms of ideas. We've discussed dubstep syndrome on this channel at least once before, which is basically where a song is 2 minutes of music being played twice. It's a lazy approach to songwriting and can become tiring for the listener, and that's pretty much what the producers have done here. It sounds like a 1-minute demo that was copied and pasted twice. I don't think you need to say much more, you obviously need to skip this track. But if there's a bright side, it's the fact that this track is ripe for a remix. On top of the song's style, which isn't bad, there's snippets of piano playing that a producer can take and make something more interesting. But if you don't want to wait around, which is a wise move, listen to Body Roots by Marco Lise. Cool bass line? Check. Awesome saxophone? Check. An old school house track that actually goes somewhere? Check, and hallelujah! If you're okay with the 90 language, Still Messed Up is a drum and bass track. There are a lot of subgenres of D&B, and this one is called Liquid. It's another melancholy song, and I get the impression that Degs is alone in his house, and he's either inebriated or hungover, and is watching time drift by both inside his house and outside his window. There are some interesting production choices here. In most drum and bass tracks, the kick usually drives things and gives the rhythm direction, but not so much in this case. So the percussion feels very shuffled or kind of floaty, and that's a good thing. Around a minute 30, some soft strings come in, and it just adds some lushness to the texture. For my critiques, around 2:10, Degs does come back in with the chorus of the song. I feel like this part would have been more fresh if he had simply played the instrumental to the end. To make things more interesting, he can bring in an additional instrument to either play another melody or simply add to the harmony. Maybe something like this. So warm and fuzzy. As far as how I feel about it, give it a listen and decide for yourselves. Like I said, it's a really chill track, and drum and bass isn't really mainstream in the United States, but it's a genre I think anybody watching can learn to enjoy. So in case it isn't clear by now, I have high standards. And I'm not apologizing. Okay, so I just got done editing. Right quick, I don't feel like bringing out my microphone, so sorry if it sounds like I'm talking in a wind tunnel. I originally recorded with the plan of uploading 2 episodes every month for the summer, and then when the school year started, uploading 1 episode a month. The problem is, if I upload 2 times a month, pretty much all I'll be doing outside of work is spending time editing these videos, which I don't want to do. I do want to do more things outside of Cool Guy Johnson Hates, including producing music again. So the main plan right now is both for the summer and for when I'm in school, we'll be uploading 1 episode a month. I don't want to say too much for right now, but that's what we're going to go for now. All right? Peace.